Thank you, Stefan. So just a little bit about the organization that I represent. I work with 100 Resilient Cities, which is an initiative funded by the Rockefeller Foundation. And we work with 100 cities across the globe, in the global north, global south, and so we have a very diverse membership in our cities. And what we do with our cities is to help them develop resilience strategies, which involves taking a broad and holistic look at the challenges as well as the opportunities that many cities face. And so just a couple of observations about the research. I think it really highlights the importance of one of the trends in African urbanization, which is around the focus on investment and promotion of inclusive growth in secondary cities. And so we're seeing that in many of our nations, the emphasis has really been around capital cities, and the interest of donor partners has also been in capital cities, but there really is a need to focus on secondary cities. Additionally, I think that the challenge in Ethiopia is not unique to Ethiopia, that we're certainly seeing this across the region in many other cities that are facing a similar challenge. And we're also seeing that many of these cities are addressing these challenges in a very siloed fashion. And so I think that resilience provides a framework for cities to address this challenge in a way that is more holistic and integrated. And we have sort of 7 principles of 7 characteristics that we feel resilient systems should possess. And of course, we view cities as systems. And I think that in employing these resilience characteristics into the design of solutions, so that we can benefit by having multiple benefits in the response. And so some of the things that I've seen in some of the cities where we work has been around ensuring that there's a robustness in solutions as they are built. So in ensuring that solutions will be able to prevent and mitigate catastrophic breakdowns. I think that would be important also as we look at designing solutions. And then also, I think that there's this nexus around waste to energy, which should be further explored in the African context, where many of our cities are grappling with sanitation challenges. And I know that there's cultural stigma related to that, but in a city like Accra, over in Lavender Hill, there's a small scale project that's ongoing where they've been able to use sewage after treatment to be able to provide alternatives to charcoal and wood for cooking. And I think that needs to be explored. I also think that given the infrastructure boom that many of our cities are undergoing, there's an opportunity there to leverage the infrastructure to support energy efficiency. So maybe looking at rooftop gardening. We talked about rooftops as for solar energy, but also looking at gardening, which has the multiple benefit of addressing the food insufficiency that many cities are also facing. And then lastly, I don't think we can underscore the importance of the cultural context and taking a really close look at that and thinking about how we can engage the women, the media, the civil society, and to be able to address this. And so specifically, I'm thinking about biomass for energy. Where I come from in Cameroon, there's still stigma and there's still perceptions around cooking certain dishes on a gas stove versus cooking them on a wood stove. And so how can we engage these critical and important allies in addressing this and changing perceptions, understanding that there will be a need for behavior modification. And so I think that that's an untapped opportunity that we should certainly look at. And then also, finally, the last point is really around how do we learn from other nations and cities within the region and beyond. So in many Latin American cities, for example, what are some of the best practices that we can import from those regions? I know that frequently we're looking at global north to global south exchanges, but I think that there's significant opportunities for collaboration beyond the global north. And so I think we should continue the conversation. This is a good start, but I feel strongly that resilience will provide the appropriate framework for us to have an integrated conversation and more robust solutions.